All right, guys, let's huddle up.
Coach Black here, same day. Hey, man, Curry, what you need to do, if you could just sit up here and with the transition.
I'm going to get into this. Can you give me Jared talk, please? Appreciate it.
Okay, that's not going to work. Hey, K-Love, my man. The rebounding machine that
Did you go get the defensive coach for me?
Okay, I thought I was your coach, but that's okay. Hey, LeBron, my man, this is the guy that's going to save the day for me. Hey, LeBron, if you could just go ahead with the transition of defense.
Hey, get out of here, Black.
Hey!
It's my team. All right, come on, guys. Hard work on 3, together on 6. 1, 2, 3.
Hard work.
4, 5, 6.
Together.
This is my team! Put that in there.
Welcome to another edition of Inside Cleveland Sports. I'm here with Tank, Lowe, Jameson, and I'm Sean. So we're going to get into college football right now. We're going to talk Ohio State versus Alabama.
Big game, baby. Thursday.
Big game for us. Give us your thoughts on that. We're going to go start with you, Tank.
This is gonna be a good matchup, man. I've been wanting to see this matchup for the longest, but we never play any big teams like this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good chance for us to do it. I think it's kind of evenly matched, though. You know, with Cardell Jones, we've seen him in his big game. You know what Ezekiel Elliott can do. Then we got Joey Bosa on our defense. They got some guys to counteract that too, but I think this is going to be a really nice matchup right here.
Oh, yes.
It's just going to be really interesting. I don't really think that Alabama has a chance. I mean, we already talked about the SEC. We already talked about the SEC as far as how people play them up like they're just so, oh my god,
greatest thing in the world.
But they're not.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? They finally had a chance to really come up to where the big boys play now. So it's interesting to see how, in what fashion they lose.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. Well, let me throw this out to you. There's a guy by the name of Pat Forty, you know, on ESPN. He does all the college games. Said the Big Ten is going to go 0-10. Well, how's it working out for him right now?
Yeah.
So I think with this game, this will be a big statement game. Now, obviously, we have lost the last couple of games against the SEC. But I think this will be a huge statement game. I don't think Arizona is as strong as they have been in previous years. I think our defense is much better than their defense. Cardell Jones is going to be all over the place. We got Ezekiel Elliott, but they have a good running game with Yoda and the crew. And they got Sims and whatnot. But, you know, as Tank was saying, it is evenly matched. But I think Ohio State's going to pretty much upset the world in this one. I think Urban's going to have them boys ready.
I don't even think it's going to be
I
anything
think
upset.
one big aspect that I want to take from the game is Amari Cooper. I believe if we can shut him down, because I think he attacks probably our weakest area in our defense, which is our secondary. So
secondary.
I believe we can get to the quarterback and then find a way just to contain Amari Cooper, because I believe they're going to send him deep. He's a deep play threat and has big speed.
Yes, he does.
So
they also have a guy by the name of Christian Jones that if Amari Cooper is if he's put on hold, they'll quickly go to him. This dude can go downfield real fast.
Watch the LSU game and you'll see that.
Let's make emphasis. What about T.J. Yeldon? We seen him last year was a dominant back, but this year he really hasn't. He's had a couple few big games, but is he that running back that we have to worry about? He's still big, physical. And I know we had a problem stopping the run as well this year.
Joey Bosa's gonna have fun with that.
Oh yeah,
a lot of fun with him.
You know that.
A lot of stops in the backfield.
All right, well let's get a pick for Ohio State. We'll start with you, Tank, and go down the line.
I think Ohio State by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Ohio State by 4. I'm being modest.
I'm going Ohio State by 3. I think this is going to be a knockout, drag-out game.
I'm going O State, to probably win by a touchdown. So let's get into now that the NFL season is over with and we're starting the playoffs right now. We're going to talk about these playoff teams that we have. What are your thoughts on the playoff teams that made it so far?
So far, I think it's a nice little turnout. It's not the strongest, especially because of how the NFC turned out with the guys that made it that are under 500. But other than that, it's a pretty nice round out. I think it's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Carolina.
What is it? 7-8.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
I just don't. We can. It's sad when we can go down somewhere into the NFC South and be a dominant
Contender.
Like seriously, like those guys, the Browns, are something to watch. I mean, seriously. I mean, I really, not to say that I don't have any respect, because like I said, these are our players, but they suck, man, down there.
The AFC is just tougher.
Excuse my French, but they are.
I'd say, this is pretty much what we thought it was going to be. I think the surprise was obviously Dallas. We always know Dallas goes 8-8. They did it for the last 5 years, but they have a big chance against Detroit, I believe. And like I said, we already talked about Carolina and how horrible the NFC South is.
Isn't Sue suspended?
Sue suspended.
Wow, yeah, that's going to be big.
I think Arizona might be this big surprise, though, too, out of it.
Arizona.
No, I'm just making it to the playoffs. How their
Just
season ended out.
Right. What a surprise.
What about we'll talk top seeds right now. Was it any surprise that Seattle ended up getting home field advantage towards the end? Like, because they were struggling.
They were. It looked like they had just fallen completely apart. Then they got rid of Percy Harvin, and then they just got right back to where they were last year.
They got back to running the
It's
ball.
all about beast mode.
Beast mode.
Beast mode.
Man, he cannot
and Russell
be-
Wilson.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He cannot be stopped, man. This is why Marshawn Lynch is one of the premier backs of this
Yes,
league.
he is.
I mean, YC, yards after carry, you hit him, you literally have to get a fraction of the team just to stop him. He's going to get he'll get 30 yards and then end up with like 10 more yards. YAC, like, are you serious?
You got to pay the man now.
Yeah, you got to pay
And
him.
don't forget the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Can't forget LOB, man.
And what about Denver and the Patriots up top of the AFC?
Man, that might be the AFC Championship game again with New England getting revenge. Because if you look at the past, when Tom Brady gets beat by Peyton Manning, that next year he comes back and returns the favor. So I really think this is the Patriots' year to go to a Super Bowl, and it'd be nice to see them go up against Seattle and see what they can do.
And this is just to think, like back in September, everybody was talking about how the Patriots were done.
Right.
Yeah, Tom Brady's
took them one game.
retired.
It took them one loss against Kansas City.
And then they just exploded from right there.
Yeah, you can't never count them out. Tom Brady and them are always going to be contenders. As long as they can throw that ball down the field, as long as they have somebody to throw to, as long as somebody can complete those routes, they're going to go somewhere.
It's just like the San Antonio Spurs. They're always there. You think they're out, but they're not.
Do you guys see a dark horse emerging in this playoffs picture?
Maybe Andrew Luck in Indianapolis. Maybe the
took my
Colts.
thunder, man.
Maybe.
Took my thunder.
Yeah, maybe it's his time.
It could be.
You never
I
know.
think it's Indy.
I do agree.
That's why they have the playoffs.
I just think if we look at I like to look at teams that come from the stronger conference. The AFC North was obviously the strongest conference
leaps and bounds.
this year in football.
Yes, they were.
Do you see any team like out of the AFC North like just maybe running the table and shocking some teams on the way to the Super Bowl?
Possibly.
Possibly.
And you never know. Like I said, it's the playoffs. You play every game for a reason, so maybe it will happen. You never know.
We'll see, man. Only time will tell.
Unfortunately, I think Pittsburgh's been playing pretty strong the last couple of weeks.
Don't you hate that? Don't you hate it? You got to give them their credit, though.
Yeah.
But I think they may make a run here, guys. It makes me sick, but they're playing some good football. Who can stop Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell?
That's true.
Who can stop these guys?
Nobody really. It's just sad to say that.
It really
because
is.
We had a better record than them earlier this year.
6-3. And we blew them out. And we blew them out.
Right.
Okay, let's go down the line for the first week of the playoff football. Let's get your picks. Go down. Just say your straight teams. Who do you have?
For me, I've got Indy beating Cincy. I got Detroit beating Dallas. I got Carolina beating Arizona, and I got Pittsburgh beating Baltimore.
I'm going to go with a few upsets, and people are probably going to look at me crazy, but I don't care. I got Cincy beating Indy. Baltimore, please beat Pittsburgh. Baltimore Browns. Dallas, I want Dallas to beat Detroit, which will happen probably. And I'm going with Carolina beating Arizona. I'm a wishful thinker today.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going off for you, starting with my picks. I got Carolina beating Arizona.
Thank
Arizona's
you.
Down like the 8th Street quarterback. I think Indy's going to shock the world. I think it'll be a shocker against Cincinnati. They're going to win. Dallas is definitely going to beat Detroit. Without Sue, that defense is just, they're terrible. And unfortunately, I got that team in Pennsylvania beating the Ravens. I mean, I even watch.
We don't even know who that team is.
I don't either. I mean, I even watch those.
For my picks, I think I'm gonna have Cincinnati on the upset to beat Indianapolis. I got Carolina beating Arizona. I got Dallas beating Detroit. And man, this was a tough one because,
it's gonna be a battle.
Like either one of those.
I'm not too fond of Pittsburgh, but I actually got Pittsburgh winning and beating Baltimore since they're playing at home. Home field advantage for Pittsburgh.
Man.
Yeah. Catch up field.
So, all right, well, we're going to redirect and we're going to go into basketball. Let's talk Cavaliers and the big question, David Blatt versus LeBron. Give us your thoughts on that.
I've heard a lot about it, but I didn't read too much into it with the whole LeBron versus David Blatt thing. I really don't know too much about what's going on with that.
Me neither. I just recently heard something about it, but you can kind of see the chemistry from the way that it reflects on the floor. Mm-hmm. You got floor conductors and leaders. Things run smoothly whenever the coaches and the best players are enmeshed together in sync. You can kind of tell from certain huddles, the mannerisms and how they go. It's like you got the Black players and then you got LeBron's followers. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like it was already brewing anyway. It was evidence for me, in my opinion.
But it's always been like that. Even when Mike Brown was here.
But at least Mike Brown, they could come. They gathered around Mike Brown to a certain degree. Yeah. They gave him.
Right.
Do you guys think David Blatt is the guy for Cleveland?
Potentially, no, he could. No, he could be.
Sure yet.
James, why do you say no?
I'm sorry, Zach. It's just that I know we have a small sample size of what he's done right now, but it's just the players don't seem to be responding to him. We're losing the bottom feeders, and it's just with the talent that we have now, we're in a win now mode. And right now, I just don't think he's the coach for that. Now I think if we were rebuilding and we didn't give LeBron or have level one, I think he would be the perfect coach. But for right now, we're in a win now mode, and we need somebody that's been there, take these reins, and take us to where we got to go.
I have to strongly disagree with that because, first and foremost, you have players that need to understand that this is a different particular type of coaching style. Right. Overseas, they do things a lot differently. And what people fail to realize is that you can't sit up here and base that off of just solely from him coming into the league just this early. This is not playoff basketball. This is still seasonal basketball. So give him a chance.
Okay. Well,
unfortunately, I don't think we have a chance, but hey.
Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of Inside Cleveland Sports. You guys be out there, ask questions. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy holidays.
Inside Cleveland Sports signing off.
Signing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.